Than $2.20.
Yeah, it's at 219 today.
Yeah, I think
Definitely.
So. I know that
Significantly?
there's.
You think it's breaking 3 for the end of the year?
Yeah, I think so. So I think I'm
6 more months.
I'm expecting their coming reports. They're easily gonna do over 100 mil per quarter. I know Khalid even spoke about they've been speaking about the acquisition from like last year. I think the most recent timeline they gave. I think the most recent timeline they gave was like possibly end of June or so. I still think that could end up happening this year. They may get I want to they get a pretty well. When I asked Kadeen, I think it was on an earnings call or one of his interviews or something. Like I was asking, what do you think is one of the next big pushes for dollar? He actually spoke about that acquisition, because if you look at it with the consolidation going on in the microfinance industry, there are a lot of players that I think are under pressure that dollar could end up acquiring at a big discount. If you acquire a big loan book at a big discount, there could be a lot of profit in that for them, and I think the market would like that. Also, if you look at a lot of the partnerships that they are setting up with a lot of their loans, and the connections that they have, like if you look at it, Mayberry signed Dequity as their financial advisor, and in the article they spoke about
Dequity signed Mayberry as a financial advisor.
Yeah, but then they said that in the article they said that it would be.
That slip, than I. I don't think you even realized that slip when you said that.
Oh yeah.
What do you mean? Which speaks a lot about how. Speaks a lot about how we see Mayberry. You said Mayberry signed Dequity.
I'm not finished. And then in the article it says that Mayberry is going to be giving advice to Dequity's associates and subsidiaries. So they are also going to be partnering with their advisors. And if you look at it, Mayberry is in I think they're like maybe the second or the third largest shareholder in dollar. And if you look at it, dollar, for example, they've like basically what I'm trying to say is that in terms of what I'm seeing with dollar, they are always basically finding new loan packages, new partnerships to get them that business. And then they have the kind of ties that they have, like who they know, like the financing. So I don't think there's going to be an issue with them getting the financing. And I'm also seeing them constantly thinking of new ways to lend money. Ultra, their partnership with just tons and tons of companies almost every month or every few weeks or so. I'm seeing another notice.
I mean, the problem is that the two largest shareholders are also heavy in heavy buyers of companies, and those companies will need banking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I don't think they have a problem getting the loans out.
Yeah.
What do you think about
I like that. I like that for the. Sorry, you were saying that.
What do you think about dollar's float? A lot of people have dollar.
There's that. Yeah, let's talk real. You see, you mentioned two things. One, the company's future likely continuity and success, which I agree with. I mean, they are truly in growth mode in terms of the businesses. Last year's their best year ever, 275 million, 280 million if you're talking about straight net profit, right? And that's their best year ever. In 3 months of this financial year, they've almost halved that. Just 1 quarter. Bear in mind that the year before, 2021, was their best year ever. And that year was 128 million for the whole year. And these guys are now doing 123 million in 3 months. I'm not disagreeing with you or not at all. Also, this is their lowest. If you think it's, maybe some element of seasonality, Q1 is their lowest quarter. Last year was their lowest quarter. So it's the first quarter that equals their previous to last year best year ever. Anyway, but that's not share price, as we know.
Yeah.
Strong balance sheet don't mean strong share count. How do you see like trading activity? 2.5 million shares sold by a director. Yes. That's a lot of shares. And that was on the 23rd.
I don't think it adds up.
21st.
Yeah, I never seen that at all.
That's funny. The JC notice said.
Yeah,
on
that's what I'm
June
saying. It doesn't add
23rd.
up. It doesn't add up.
Maybe it's a mistake. You know, the days running to each other. Maybe it's a mistake. But on the
Maybe.
but on the 23rd,
T+2.
it could be. No. Hey, it could be. That's a real thing. It could be. But on the 21st, we saw a lot of units traded. The thing that struck me about this, that raised my eyebrow, you see it jumps out on the chart very quickly. It's one of the biggest days ever.
And then the volume's not good. The volume's still heavy after that.
Yeah, the thing that struck me is how it was done. Like, if you look, like, I love this about my money, Jay, that you can replay how the day went, right?
Yeah.
Look at the buy queue at the start of that day, and then look how those trades happened. And look at how those trades happened. These trades didn't happen where it's not the typical big order, right? The big one-to-one, somebody selling to one, something that looks to me like you met in the boardroom or at the bar, you made the agreement, and this is the day that we do the trade and the swap happened. This to me looks like straight selling to the queue. Like straight selling to the actual queue. So orders just getting bought up nicely. Big and nothing wrong. I love that because people are getting their units, right? But that means that a lot of people are getting their units. Which,
I'm wondering why the queue, you see the current queue now? I'm looking at it like, why is the queue defense coming now instead of then? Like, I see 500 grand.
is that queue defense, or is it people are like, yo, I can grab a whole heap of dollar shares?
That's also possibilities.
That's true.
Yeah. So I'm looking at that and I'm considering.
Yeah, I really like it. I just looking at it now, that side eye off. There's some, when it's coming out?
Whenever we drop it.
I'm looking at it as a point of risk for me. And that kind of sell down, the kind of thoughts that go behind that with people. If it's the days after that, check the candle, how red they are, just dipping down every single day since that big order.
There could have been another director selling who just haven't got the notice yet.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yo, that's fair. That's fair inducing. Look at how people have reacted to the.
I don't like seeing that. I saw it and I was, and I was saying, for a little while now, I was saying it felt like that they just left it out. Like, in terms of there was a good amount of orders in the queue at any given time. It seemed like there was defense there, and it just don't seem to be the case for a good little while now.
So, like, for me, not knocking it again, I like it, but if we're talking practical investing here, we're like, we're looking for practical profit. Like, in 5 years, you have this thing and the numbers that they're doing now, imagine what the dividend will look like in 5 years. Imagine how the profits will look in 5 years. Yeah. But if I'm talking about, so that's again, then
we've seen the growth in the quarters. Like, the dividend next year is going to be good. Yeah,
and I love that they're paying a dividend so early as a company to the market. But I also have to consider my thing. I look for cap gains heavily. And if this many people get this many units,
and them come sell, especially if they see it falling and you know how that is, that fear that's setting. I know what I see that it does.
Yeah, which is not a bad thing. It just says to me that there's a lot more people that will need to be excited about the thing in the future.
Yeah.
For it to rise, for the price to rise, right?
And it's a longer sell queue over and over and over.
And then what are the things that would cause them to be that excited? Because yes, the continued good profit is amazing. The growing dividend is amazing. But I don't know how much that influences the typical retail investor.
Yeah.
So, like, I look at it and I wonder, if they acquire the right thing, if they buy access, if that actually ever happens, that'd be amazing. But on just the strength of the company, the strength of the balance sheet, I mean, JMB has a strong balance sheet. A strong balance sheet don't set the share price.
Right.
Yeah. No, fair points. Fair points. And then people, I guess, a lot of the directors could have got their shares at $1, so
or cheaper.
True.
So for them, $2 is still 100% profit. What would be interesting to see is if Mayberry or if MJE starts to give some support, because I think they were actually buying after listing too.
Mm-hmm.
That's
to check
a
back
good point.
there.
No, they
If
were.
you pull up probably their, I don't remember if it's I don't think it was the most recent report. Maybe it was the report before. As in, no, the Mayberry, the MJE reports where they tell you how many shares their stuff they were buying.
Oh yeah, the buy and sell. They'll show you there, but I mean, a quick, easy way I can look is I look at what they had
since
here.
listing. Yeah.
Since listing, the easy way. My money J will have a little. We're solving that problem, making it easier. Also, that's a great market tip to make things easier for you. But until then, they had 21.6 mil at the end of March, and just be safe, I'll go full year and third quarter. At the end of the full year,
no, I think it was the same amount. You passed it up.
Yeah,
it's about the same there.
The same 21.6, but at the end of the third quarter, was it also the same amount?
There was a point where I saw them buying though. I don't know.
23, they actually sold. Huh.
So I guess they bought and then sold. Interesting.
Yeah, it's such a sticky game when it's that popular a stock. It requires a massive event that matters to and is clear to the vast majority of the investing public for them to rush and buy.
Very
right?
obvious.
Yeah. So that's a consideration of mine. So I think I've sold my dollar, and I'm sure I'll buy it back at some point because it's such a strong company.
Yeah. Strong company.
But
you just timing.
No, yeah, it's always timing because I'm not looking to it for me personally. I'm not looking to it for heavy cap gains.
I was more optimistic earlier in the year. I think most of my thoughts, like just seeing where it's gone and then I kind of pulling back on it.
Yeah. How do you guys handle that the pressure of that? Because I'm so used to No. How do you guys handle the pressure of talking about something like that? Where you're like,
talk about
about what?
As in something that we don't think is very good, or
the bad possibilities of a stock you like.
Yeah.
I mean, I still try to, I guess, welcome it because it shows that, like, as much as things can look good at a point, things can change, and I'd rather learn from earlier. Because, like, for example, I sold a decent amount of my shares at like 270 or 260. So it dropping now. I mean, I still own shares now. If I look back, that's even an opportunity for me to average down, and I put the money in something else. I think some of that money went into Cygnus. So if I then make money from that Cygnus play, I can compound that to then average down on that. Or maybe I take that money, put it into something else before I then put it into dollar, and suppose dollar drops to $2. Yeah, I'm still down, but with the gains that I've now made, I can then average down. So it's just part of the game. Part of the game.
That what you said about things can change. You would be surprised how much that thought is not common. If I have it now, I must stick with it. Like, I mustn't change it. Which is the same thought of don't lose money. If you lose here, then okay, change it and go somewhere else.
Exactly.
That's not a common thing at all for people to think that that's a possibility. Because really, if you got up and you say, "Boy, it makes it to them," I say no, and you say sell. For me to sell to somebody, you know how that go for the most part. What? No, I must sit with it until it go good again. Yeah. Market must only go one way ever. That's how people.
That's how people tend to view it. Yeah, and or you also spoke about it well. So why don't you love it now?
Yeah.
Well, I like that thing. I like how you also.
Like when you love Cygnus, people question how we used to love it then, and then times change, things change. We bought it for the reasons we bought it for, and we were there for profit.
We used to bash Cygnus on our podcast. We bashed Cygnus heavily, and look at me owning shares after.
Hypocrite.
Wagonist.
That's it, right? Exactly.
That's the word.
Riding the wagon to profit. Real wagonist.
Real wagonist. Wow. Looking at a
Stock
lot of
I'm
things.
excited about. Two. Give me the first one. I like that it's the Trans-Jamaica time. I think that a lot of people are gonna be. I can't say are gonna be excited about Trans-Jamaica. I mean, look at Trans-Jamaica, 246. I'm so proud of it. It's finally
moving,
catching the light. And Trans-Jamaica is a great example of what I just spoke about with Dollar, where I mean, you know how Trans-Jamaica is. Like it's the other Wigton that was bigger. Everybody have this stock. So what it really takes for this thing to move, how it has moved. Significant, sustained, and possibly well-pocketed interest in addition to the retail interest. And this one has been a very interesting one for me. It's something I'm looking at, and I think I'm tying a lot of the interest in it around not just the new highway opening, the new leg, and the JOI purchase that they did to reduce their expenses, fix up the cash flow a bit, but also their to me, I see a lot of dots around like the word, like why change the wording of the buyback. It's such a very specific change that they did in the wording of the articles at the AGM, right, for the buyback, meaning like why change it? The articles are amended. So they removed the ageist requirement, which is, the director's maximum age before they have to retire.
Okay. Yeah.
And this one, they're putting in a new resolution to say where shares can be repurchased, so a buyback from the company, it can be done by open market or by tender. And I believe the original
Article 65.
The original 65 spoke to. I don't want to guess, but I don't want to go digging that the wrong way. The original 60 thing spoke to a buyback already, so all they've edited it to is explanatory circular. All they've edited it to is to include the open market.
Oh,
section. Like literally.
Also, just like STO before.
Wait, say that again.
Or was it? Yeah, I'm just wondering.
I don't want to guess. I want you to see it. So I guess I'm getting it the wrong way because I know it in my head, but I want, especially since we're doing this, I want to be as accurate as I can be. There we go. We currently allow the company to repurchase its shares by way of a tender. It just doesn't allow the open market buyback.
Oh, a tender invitation.
So they are.
And I've even thought of doing both. They are
literally editing it. Huh?
I never thought of a company doing both, like both a self-tender offer and an OMR, like a mixture of both.
They could.
Or they just say we want to do that one, so let's allow ourselves to be able to do that one.
Yeah. Exactly. The article, it simply doesn't allow them to do the open market one. So the change is to allow the open market one, which is the preferred one because it doesn't.
And why the hell would you?
I don't know how much I want to give away here like this, but I mean the
I think it's
self-tender is a guaranteed event that you have less control over. Like you have control over when you do it. Once you're saying you're doing it, you've said you're doing it.
Exactly.
And the money has to be spent, and it's a tender, and it's the shareholders.
Open market, you can literally just look on the queue and be like, I think I want to buy it up to. Yeah. You don't have to
do whenever you want.
Exactly. You're not restricted by time.
You don't actually
by
have to buy.
Yeah.
Like you can say up to. You don't actually have to buy that amount.
Exactly. You can say up to, and like in the case of Cygnus, you give yourself the 3 years that your articles require you to do.
Yeah.
They could have just done one, but instead they go to OMR and they go 3 years in order to allow them to do whenever they want, whenever it's most expedient for the company. Now the fact that Trans-Jamaica is changing that resolution, and that's all that they're changing, adding in the open market thing, is for me a dot to say that it makes it not extremely, but much likelier that they're gonna do a buyback, and they're gonna do a buyback in the way that they'd love to do it. But I also think about how the market is likely to react to the news of a buyback. which
That's
is
true.
an obvious dot to me from way out, right? From before, no, which is why I bought it. I didn't buy it, or maybe I did buy it at IPO and then sold it very quickly after. But it's not something that I've touched before. But when I saw what seems to me to be, I don't know why my gut tells me like NCB is really taking their proper hold on it. They have 2 NCB, if not, they have at least 2 NCB board members on board, and the new leg opening and the open market buyback addition, change to the resolutions, all of those coming together to me is almost like a perfect storm. And then I also think that, you know, I think maybe the obvious heavy stakes are being taken by the, what you call it, smart money, the heavy money.
Heavy money indeed.
Yeah, so
Look
the
on the
heavy money
trading.
is going
Look
in.
on the trading before that rise.
It's when the big,
meaning the volumes that were coming, and then since those large orders,
that's when it's
that looks like a base set, and then I can raise my average as I go along because I have a strong base now.
Well, that's a nice way to think of it. I was thinking that it's I just think that, yo, the big people are moving, and the big people are employees tell them friend who tell them friend who tell them friend. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I see it. So like people know, and people know that you're coming or something's coming, and also you can see the highway. So people traverse the highway every day. You can see the highway, and yeah, you get that effect, the visual effect of being able to see the fence strap effect, I call it. Yeah, so Trans Jamaica, weirdly enough, is one of those I'm excited about, and I do own some, and I'll probably buy more. I can talk, of course, and also, of course, the KFC stock. I mentioned it earlier, but the KFC stock, the Starbucks stock.
KFC stock.
Yeah, man, the Starbucks stock. The when they're fighting in KFC and then break the chairs.
Yeah,
I'm very happy. Yeah, I wish they were fighting Starbucks though. I wish they were breaking the chairs in Starbucks though. Yeah. Like, please break a chair, like mash up something, you know. I was joking with the girl guards. I was saying, yo, I hope somebody goes in Toyota Jamaica and just mash up the front desk. I just run out. I nobody gets hurt but the front desk, and then they have to go down to JFP and order a new one.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you guys had Metri on, and I mean, how did I haven't watched that episode yet, so I haven't heard it. But how did he feel about the expansion?
Well, I think we feel the same way as Metri. We're pretty excited about the what our company is doing, and it's good for it's a brilliant deal in my opinion. JFP Total Office, because they're literally just they're the manufacturers and they're getting like a distribution segment. It's almost like they're getting a distribution arm, and they have those channels throughout the Caribbean.
You get a vertical.
Exactly, because even when I was listening to the AGM, Steve Sergani, he was basically saying that they're at I think it was 30% of what they could possibly do, like the total capacity that they could run at. I think it was around 30%, and if that's the limiting factor and they're getting a distribution company, right, which means, in my opinion, a lot more business is gonna come out. Hey, yo, that sounds good for JFP. And if they said they work, Preston, do you remember what days they work? Is it a 4-day week? I can't remember.
I do remember that. I do remember. Maybe you had a clip of that or something, but I do remember that.
Yeah, I think it's like just 4 days out of the week.
Yeah, it's
and and it's just how much they can actually take on. Like they're doing this and they can take on this much. So if all they need is business, I'm bullish on Total Office supplying that business. So I think it's a really good deal. I didn't see all the synergies immediately. Maybe after doing more research, I realized, oh, this could be huge. So yeah,
I see a lot of synergies there. I see also on a lot of jobs that they do. It was very telling to me that the relationship was said, I believe, that to have started from like being suppliers to a big job.
Yeah.
Which then says to me, you know, when I look at Total Office, one of Total Office's biggest suppliers, the massive furniture company in the world.
Yeah.
And I look around the region and I see where in those level of infrastructure projects are being done. I mean, hospital expansion in Jamaica, double hospital expansion in Jamaica. The company that they're working with has an entire hospital division, right? When I look at the Barbados airport expansion, when I look at the expansion of Sangsters, and I suspect maybe a coming expansion of Norman Manley. When I look at there's restaurant chains moving out throughout the region, right? I like the dots. I got some dots on your podcast, right? Because then I think about the downside. Because it's not always good.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of dilutive events unless I can see a safe path through and after them. And it was said that they being JFP plan to pay for total office because they have bought it already, but I'm assuming there's some amount of debt there, and they'd have to pay for it via issuing some shares, a mixture of debt and equity, right? Which means you have to issue shares in our company, which might be dilutive for me. But then I think, okay, they do it to get 30% of everything total office does, so it's an associate company of yours, and that might be great, and that continues assuming that they're profitable. But I think as you hear me say, like, look on Dollar, great company, great trajectory. But if I'm thinking just share price, which is the arena in which we play, I have to consider what the dilution may mean in terms of
where those heavy volumes are going.
Where are they going? Can they go there and then some of them hit the market? Like, I don't want to see my queue getting hit with orders, selling it down.
So if the total office are sell. I don't want that.
I wouldn't want that. I'd be fearful of it. And then on the flip side, what are you getting for that? Because if you're getting the right thing for it, it can work out, right? When Separate did a dilutive event and got facey for it, it eventually worked out well for Separate shareholders.
Exactly.
Yes, they were diluted, but the share price went up eventually, right? In this, if I can see a clear path, I love it. And I think based on timing too, I think anything like this is probably going to come up before JFB has to talk to us. They have a month and a week to talk to us, August 14th, which makes me wonder if there's that total office IPO is going to happen in July, which is where I picked the time into. And then I noticed Friday, last day of the month and a half year, a massive amount of units.
Yeah.
But I think 100 million, 102 million, and out of that 102 million, there's 100 million coming straight from two people. Two people, which I suspect are the directors. Two directors selling, possibly, are connected parties to the directors.
Us who owns that much, right?
Exactly. Connecting those dots, and so I wondered why maybe they're cashing up. I don't know if it's total office who bought it, or maybe they're cashing up, and the time seemed a little interesting to me also, it being this close to the blackout date. So maybe they're cashing out in order to have money so that you can participate in another order that happens before the second thing comes out. And then I think, how can JFP pay for total office depending on what the price total office is? It's not like they have that much money.
Yeah, they don't have much cash on hand at all.
Companies worth a lot more. Yeah.
And they get and if the company's worth a crap load more, we're hearing like 7 mil. If they have even, I think we're doing some math at even 10% margins. Not that they have that 7 mil US 10% margins, but not that they have that. But they're getting something that I think might be extremely valuable. And if they're being diluted for it, how are they doing it? I'm thinking debt swap, conversion in IPO, and then that's something exciting for JFP. Our company, because I do own some JFP shares too. So, but I worry. Like, these are the things I fret about, because if you get it wrong, if it's a wrong thing, getting out is hell, right?
Exactly.
Not too much volumes there.
Yeah, well, there's a 13 million order here at 180. I don't know if it will last, but and if they are Matthew, that's your plan. 13 million at 180. It's not a bad. How much money is that to buy these two, to sell to these
almost
two?
26 mil, almost 24 mil or something.
23, no man, 23 mil.
23?
Yeah, at 180. After fees and stuff. Sorry, we'll take the fees out. So assuming 1% fees. 23 mil. Might be a good exit. It might be a good exit. Who knows? But that's the
It'd be funny though if somebody start preempt that, because I don't want to say this. I think that or is an all or none.
Yeah. There
So
are lots of all or none
imagine somebody
orders.
drop an all or none 13 mil and like next month there and say, yo, I watch that style. I just start by. Just start by. And they'll drop everything on it.
Man, them shocked when them seat filled.
Yeah, I imagine getting that alert.
You know?
Your pretend order has been filled for real.
Yeah.
Pressure.
And then again, like the last day of the month, them invite you up on a yacht. No phone service, nothing. Just far.
That's a real thing that happened. There's a story of.
Oh gosh.
I know if
That's the reason it happens. But there's a story of what was it? Was it Buffett and I want to say it was Buffett and the Microsoft. I think it's Microsoft or something. But there was a story of Buffett saying they're on the yacht and the guy they're on some Riviera and the captain is pointing out things and they're like, just go wherever the satellite signal is strongest. Because like we're trying to close this today. Yeah, we're trying to close this deal today. Yeah, that's a good problem to have.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. One thing I noticed about JP though, I always think of the opportunity with it. I think 5 million units puts you in the top 10, which means 5 million units is still a significant amount of ownership in the company, and you can still get 5 million units to buy without tripping the breaker even Monday. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the breaker doesn't trip until 209, order number 34. So yeah, that to me is still interesting, still a wonderful opportunity. I see it every now and then. I still grab a piece every now and then. I don't listen to the right or the wrong information. I participated after. And who knows? Maybe it'll work out. Let's see what total office looks like.
Facts.
Yeah, those are my two that I was thinking about. And then I have none other.
So Theon stole JP from you. No, but you guys both stole JP from me then. So looking. I mean, man, boring. I'm personally excited about SVL because there's a lot that's coming out of it, and you can see like now is the timeline for like the big ramp up for the thing there. We call it the infrastructure moves that they've been making. I think not only Ghana, just like the payment platform, the bill payment platform that they're setting up. We can see them fully buying out the loan company, and the plans around that. The plans that they have for this timeline now for the loan companies are ramping up business through the network. And then SVL gets a lot of support. I've been saying it more than once. It's one of the closest things to a safe stock on the market. You're not really expecting a certain level of thing there, but you can time a lot of rises out of it and get a good deal of money in and out of this thing. Trans-Jamaica, Wigton, like similar level of volume can happen through there. Probably heavier on those sides, but at a certain level of money can go into SVL, get good profits, and you're not really have a worry of losing to a certain degree.
To a certain degree, because you can't like
there's no stock. That's a safe stock to a degree. There's no real safe stock. There's no this not gonna fall, work stuff. But there are strong timelines throughout the year that SVL has. They pay dividends quarterly. They're one of the strongest dividend payers on the market. You can see the level of buying that goes into that thing there. So if you time it a certain way, it cuts your risk really heavily, and then the upside is really good with all the big plans that they have.
Truly. Yeah. Seen a lot of trading recently. The past couple of days. Yeah. Millions of units. Another quarter.
Another quarter
rise. Look at that rise.
Maybe, but that like I hear people talk shout out to the psych striker herself, but I don't I don't know if I would bank me personally if I'd bank a heavy play on like the end of the quarter move in this quarter. I think it would happen based on other factors. That's deep. That's grower group talk. I would say probably about a bunch of other factors told me that this would happen this quarter, but I don't know if I'd bank on it every quarter. Because
I don't guess what I want to say more, but yes, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't think of it as a guarantee. We're not
things could change. Things could change. Yeah, or they could just not care, or lots of things.
Yo,
it's a heavy amount of units.
Have to wrap up, guys.
Yeah, we do. I think
it's in that page.
A good, yeah,
You get to it too.
It's a good time.
Yeah, get to that page.
Yeah, I understand. Well, thank you guys for having us. I enjoyed being here.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for inviting us on to have a talk. Yeah.
Indeed.
Of course, yo. Anytime. We love the talk. We love the conversations, honestly. Hopefully we can do it again soon, you know. But for now,
When you're ready, say it and we'll see if we can make the time.
love that. All right, guys.
Okay.
Limitless out.
Big up. Cool.
Running season now.
Limitless bricks. I love it.
Limitless bricks.
Yeah, man. Big up.
Bless.